All right, so good Sunday morning. Today we are going to make some chicken vegetable soup. We're dealing with a little bit of sinus congestion in the household, so we are going to make some healing, nourishing chicken noodle soup. So first off, gotta get some little crumbs out of that dish there. We're gonna put some olive oil in the pan, and then I cut up some carrots and talked about this mirepoix that we make with carrots, onions, and celery. So we're going to go ahead and cut them up. And today we're actually going to put some carrots, or excuse me, some mushrooms in there as well. Our family loves mushrooms, and we're going to put some diced tomatoes in and some homemade bone broth. I think I've talked previously about how our family uses the whole chicken when we cook, make a chicken, and that gives us the opportunity to control what's in our food. So, as I'm walking you through this, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what our family does to try to prevent any type of infection. We try to support our immune system through some of the simple health measures that I've shared as YouTube shorts recently. So, we try to protect our sleep, make sure that we get hydration with good quality filtered water, right from the spigot, but filtered is completely fine. Our family does use a Berkey with a carbon filter. Um, we also make sure that we get good sleep. We make sure that we reduce stress. We make sure that we try to do our best with avoiding extra stress, limiting overextending ourselves, and just really being protective and setting boundaries for our time and commitments. And that's not always easy in today's world, but we do our best. When we're cutting up the celery here, I just wanted to remind you, you can definitely use the stems and the leaves um, of the celery. So good for you. A lot of nourishment and nutrition in all of the pieces of fruits and vegetables. So don't be afraid to use them. So like I said, we manage our stress. We try to keep our house clean. I actually have delegated this out more recently after getting out of debt. We hired a house cleaner who comes in every other week to clean for us. Tim and I both work full time. The boys have very busy schedules. And this was a task and activity that I didn't feel like I was doing well. So we've hired some help to, in this season of our lives, so that we can focus on other priorities. So, and don't be afraid to do that, especially if I know for me that was hard and that could be a whole different topic. Delegating that out was a very difficult decision, but I cannot do it all. And the older I get, I finally have to just accept that fact that I can't do it all and that I need some help. All right. And then when we do wind up coming down with the stuffies, we will go ahead and implement measures to try to eliminate or mitigate it from getting into a situation where we have a sinus infection. So, a couple things that we'll do. We'll go ahead and implement using a neti pot. So, a neti pot is a pot that you use, it's a saltwater nasal wash. You want to make sure that you're using distilled water. You do not, under any circumstances, want to use water from your spigot. You don't want any type of bacteria getting into those nasal passages. Also, you don't want to use a neti pot like all the time. Your body and your immune system, your nose in particular, is the gateway to your respiratory tract. It has good bacteria in there too. So you don't want to be washing that away that often. But I know during the season of COVID, when we would go out and travel and come back, I would encourage my family to use a neti pot just to kind of rinse away any junk that came home with you from the external environment you were in, just as a preventative measure. So, we have like a sinus congestion. That's my first recommendation is once a day. If you're congested, wake up congested, go ahead and do a neti pot. Make sure you blow your nose out when you're done that. This soup as well, I don't know about you, it can't just be me, but when I eat soup, my nose runs, which gives me a perfect opportunity to go clear it, get some tissues, and go ahead and push any of that junk out by blowing it through the nose and discarding. Some other things we'll do, definitely maybe if we feel like we're getting short on sleep, making sure that we add in some extra time to sleep and let our body recover. Maybe removing any stress that's in our lives. Actually, Tim tends to run 5 to 6 days a week, which I have my opinions on. I don't necessarily think that's healthy, but exercise overall is healthy. But maybe if you're coming down with a respiratory infection or a respiratory bug, maybe backing off of that running is probably a little bit good for temporarily, and maybe switching to like an active recovery. Also, we'll up the tea, have a little bit of honey in it. We'll increase our water consumption. Also, we'll make sure we're taking our vitamin D and our vitamin C, because I know that I can be hit or miss on that, taking a good multivitamin. And I want to be clear, a pill, tablet, a vitamin supplement is not a substitute for a poor diet. You definitely are still going to want to make sure you're investing in good quality foods to be your number one defense and nourishment. So if you're going to take a supplement, just do your best to make sure you're actually getting good quality foods, and do your best to make sure that you're not getting food like substances. Here I'm going to add a lot of garlic. Okay, they say like use a clove of garlic, and that usually to me is like 2 heaping teaspoons or tablespoons, excuse me, of minced garlic. Garlic has some good antiviral properties, as does onion. All of the fruits and vegetables and anything that comes from seed, in my opinion, came from God, and it is good for you. So, but if it was made in a plant, you should probably be suspect. If you can make it at home yourself, go for it. Enjoy. Enjoy all the things that come from seeds. Some other things we'll do, taking medicine, there's a time and a place to take medicine for a sinus bug, absolutely, especially if you're having some pain. But my family uses essential oils as a first line of defense. Raised my kids to look at essential oils come from nature. They come from seeds. They come from plants. So definitely utilize them to the best of your ability. Some of my favorites for sinus gunkiness are frankincense. I love putting frankincense. I put it on my facial moisturizer during the day, or in the morning, excuse me. And then also we'll put it around the crown of my head if I have a headache. I also use some type of eucalyptus oil. Young Living sells like an RC oil that has multiple blends of eucalyptus oil and just smells so, so good. I use one called Stress Away that has a little bit of, it looks like vanilla and lime in it. It's very calming. And then for a headache, also, I will sniff on peppermint. Peppermint has the ability to awaken your senses if you're tired, and has an ability to kind of help take away pain. Sometimes I think it's because of the sensation. It's a hot oil, so if you put it on your forehead or around your temples, be very careful, because if you get it too close to your eyes, it can and will burn. So, and that's that. So, and rest. If your body's telling you, hey, my immune system's struggling a little bit here, I got something to deal with, why not give it a little bit of support and a little bit of rest? So here I'm going to fight with a tomato can. We'll pour in these diced tomatoes. So, so much flavor. These have basil, garlic, and I can't remember what else is in there. Basil, garlic, there's 3 things. I'll have to look it up. A little bit of Redmond sea salt, put about a teaspoon in there, and about a half a teaspoon or so of fresh cracked pepper. And then we're going to go ahead and pour in that homemade chicken bone broth, which is so, so yummy and nourishing. And I'm going to tell you, no matter what you do, try to make your own stuff at home. You can do it. Even if you're busy, it doesn't really take that much time, but you just want to kind of make sure you know what you're doing, especially if you're getting into canning foods to protect your family. You don't want to, you don't want to make any errors in that and cause harm. So good. So we'll bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for a couple minutes, and then throw in some chicken. in a little bit, and that should be ready for dinner this evening. Be really good with a nice crusty bread, a little bit of wild rice. You don't have to put anything, you can some Parmesan Reggiano on top. So, so nourishing for you.